And we are back to handle our Takeover and WrestleMania prediction. That's the sound of the beverage. Alright, let's start off with Takeover. So we got 5 matches. We got Sienna Almost defending against Aleister Black. We've got Ember Moon defending against Shayna Baszler. Triple threat for the tag team titles, Undisputed Era versus AOP versus Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne. And then we have our 6-man ladder match for the inaugural NXT North American Championship. Adam Cole, Ethan Carter III, or EC3 as they're calling him. They're not elaborating on it. Killian Dane, Lars Sullivan, Ricochet, and Velveteen Dream. And then finally, the unsanctioned match that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. Would you like to lead off, sir?
Yes, I will. We're going to start at number 1 and go down to number 5, or start at 5 and go to 1?
Any order you want to go.
Let's start at 5 and go to 1. We got the unsanctioned Gargano versus Ciampa match. You're not wrong, it doesn't make a ton of sense because he's already fired. So what the fuck? But you got to face GM, so he's going to side with the faces. So fuck you and your logic.
I just think if you had Ciampa demand this match, it makes a lot more sense.
That would make a lot more sense. Yeah. Well, in a sense, he kind of did because he went to Regal. Listen, sir. Sunshine. He went to the William Regal and said, "What are you going to do about it?" And Regal's like, "Eat shit. This is what I'm going to do about it." So he kind of...
Except the answer is, you phoned the cops on him because he's at your house at 3 a.m. That's called stalking.
Well, here's the deal. William Regal's like a genie. And if you're not real specific, you might not like the end result of your wish. So I'm okay with this match happening.
No, I want this match to happen. I just wanted it to have a logical,
Yeah, and to me, that's the logical thing. Is like, stop twisting Regal's dick, otherwise you're gonna get it in the ear. So I'm picking Gargano to win. I would not in any way, shape, or form be shocked if he lost, because then they could just put him on main roster right away.
Does he go to the main roster? Or does he go to 205?
Oh well. In the real world, he goes to SmackDown. And for those of you who are tuning in, I have decided, with Mio's help, to keep track of some stuff. So what we're doing is, I'm making predictions, Mike's making predictions. We're also going to pick the worst possible outcome possible. Like, this will throw all the money in the garbage. It will de-push your main eventers. It will crush the souls of all your fans. And that's the Vince way to do it. So we're keeping track of the Vince picks. And then over time, we're going to see how often the Vince picks are right. We were also going to have picks from Eric, but he hasn't got them to me. So I don't know what's going on. So, yeah, I'm going with Gargano on this one.
I am also going with Johnny Gargano. I say that he wins and that he goes to the main roster anyways.
Yeah, I could see that. It's like, hey,
I don't really think you ever put the NXT title on him.
I
wouldn't complain about it, but you've kind of given him the shot. You've run him through the main event scene a little bit there, and you've also, this kind of plays into my pick in the NXT title match, is that there's not really a lot for him to do on NXT.
Mm-hmm.
So I would bring him to the main roster on a high note, having beaten Ciampa.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're kayfabe rehired to the whole company, so go to main. Yeah, no, I can see that. The Vince pick, of course, would be to have Gargano win or to have Ciampa win, and then just Gargano is like for real fired for real.
Yep.
The only 5-star match you've ever had in NXT, and you're going to just fire that guy. That would be the Vince way to do it. Or, actually, the Vince way to do it is to have Ciampa win, and then Gargano goes to 205 and becomes a jobber. That's the Vince way to do it, right there.
I am debating if I want him to go to 205 Live, SmackDown, or Raw, though.
SmackDown.
my thing is SmackDown has been wasting good talent for a long time now.
Same with Raw.
And
on
Raw
SmackDown, if you can
that's kind
really
of the
wrestle
thing is
and people would get behind you.
That's kind of the thing. I'm looking at
On
205
Raw,
Live.
nobody cares. Like, they legit just don't give a shit who you are or what you're doing. They're just there to be on Raw. Yeah. The crowd literally is only there to try and be on camera, I think.
205 Live, I think, honestly, to a degree, makes the most sense for him, because I think it's one of the few places where he would get used well.
Yeah, and I could see that being a thing. I could see Triple H coming to Gargano and going, listen, you're obviously the shit. And you obviously deserve to go to either Raw or SmackDown. But I really want 205 Live to be a thing. Can you help me out?
Well, and this also goes like, have him go to 205 Live and have Ciampa follow him. Because they're both able to make 205 Live, and you could really put a storyline together on that show.
Yeah.
Which you're not going to be able to do on Raw and SmackDown.
That's true.
They're not going to make room for it.
I'm not gonna lie, I would be disappointed if he was stuck on 205 Live, because right now it is being stuck on 205 Live.
I wouldn't
Roderick Strong notwithstanding.
I wouldn't make it forever. I would have him in the main roster eventually, but I would have like the transformation of the Gargano and Ciampa storyline over to 205 Live, give that something to do. Also enlarges the roster, because we were talking about that with the tag team titles. You need more people if you're going to bring that in. And I think they are. So, I really like that idea.
Yeah, like I said, I would be disappointed, but I can see the logic.
So on to the next match.
And listed on Wikipedia, it's the 6-man for the NA title with a ladder. In my opinion, you've only got 2 logical options here. You've got EC3 or Ricochet. But then again, they're also rookies they have literally not worked a single match. I think
honestly you can construct a way for any of these 6 men to walk out with the title.
Oh, yeah.
And have it make sense. Now, the one guy I'm going to eliminate right off is I wouldn't want to put the title on Killian Dane.
Yeah. I think, from a logical standpoint, Lars and Killian destroy each other throughout the entirety of the match, with occasional showing up for big power spots. Like, they're each going to get, like, one big-ass power spot to ruin everybody's day, and then that's the extent of their involvement. Adam Cole has to work 2 matches, theoretically. He for sure is going to be in this match. And he's jobbed to literally everybody except for Caesar Bananas. So, do you want to put a title on that guy? The guy with the faction that can't win a match?
Yeah, I got to remember that Cole really hasn't been given a lot of wins leading up into this.
No, he's the guy with the whole with the guy with the faction. The tag team titles are on the other 2 dudes in the faction, and you can't win a match except for against Caesar Bananas. Really? That's actually the new North American champion?
He didn't even beat Caesar Bananas. There was no match.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, again, in my mind, I would have Ricochet win the title, and Ricochet's my pick to win, because I'm a big fucking mark. And then I would feud. Timeout. This is the wobbly bee. So, all right, I'm officially picking EC3 to win. That's my official pick. And then he and Ricochet feud over the title for a time. That'd be my official pick.
I would be down with that, but I'm going to go with the Velveteen Dream.
No, you can't have a face win.
He's not a face.
But he is, though, because people go, yay.
Yeah, but Ricochet's a face.
Nope, Ricky, not a face yet.
No, I got Velveteen Dream. I think they've got him as a project. They want to build him, and they'll put the gold on him. That's not who I would do, but that's my pick, because I'm trying to go with what's going to happen.
It's way too early for him to have a title. He really needs a lot more.
I would not want him to be the inaugural champion. I would put the title on Ethan Carter III.
Yeah.
Or I would have gone with Adam Cole had he been built better leading into this.
Yeah.
But I would go with Ethan Carter, but I think they'll do Velveteen Dream.
That's very, very, very possible.
And the worst option, I
worst
guess,
option,
is Killian Dane.
I would disagree. I think the worst option is actually Adam Cole.
It's true. Adam Cole's been booked like a jobber, so it'll be Adam Cole.
Yeah, I mean he's got zero. He's got Adam Cole Bay going for him, and that's fucking it. Like he can't even get over on the GM.
True. Did have that strong showing in the Rumble, but yeah.
Yeah. We've got the pre-distributed area versus the Authors of Pain versus the Strong Bruisers. My official pick to win this would be the Strong Bruisers. That would be my deal. I think... Now, see, there's the caveat. Here's the caveat. And I might retract my official pick officially. Because there's a theory floating around that Donovan Dijak will show the fuck up and be a substitution and a new member of the Undisputed Area. So there's that. And the other theory is that Roderick Strong is going to flip-flop and join the pre-distributed area and cost them the shot, and then the Undisputed Penumbra will retain. But in a real world where I want things to be cool and awesome, I'm going to stick with the Strong Bruisers.
I'm going with the Era to retain. I do believe we'll get a substitute partner for O'Reilly. Don't know if it'll be Dijak, but that would make a lot of sense.
What if it's Keith Lee?
Keith Lee would be fucking great.
Keith Lee was just on an exit.
I at that point might actually die.
But yeah, AOP have to go to Maine, and Vince will not let a single person on the roster, Asuka notwithstanding, that has wins behind them. He wants to crush their spirit so that they're nice and pudding-like, so he can smear them all over the landscape and job them out all over TV.
I'm not sure that there's a worst option here. Actually,
actually, the worst option is the Authors of Pain, ironically, because then you're just holding them down on NXT for zero fucking reason.
Well, I mean, in reality, yes, because they don't let champions go to the main roster outside of Asuka.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were running the company, I would have... Not that I would necessarily even have AOP win, because I probably still wouldn't. I would probably still put keep the titles on the Era, because you need something for that group. Adam Cole is, been jobbed out kind of hard as a single, so we need the tag team to keep some momentum going. But I've said this before, I would like NXT champions just to go to Main. I don't know why they dropped the titles to go to Main.
No, I mean,
this is
constantly...
the system.
Well, see, the problem is, and then you're constantly having, tournaments, right?
I'm fine with that. They are all good.
Yeah, that's not wrong. But do you want to have... how often do they call up people? Twice a year?
Twice a year.
So for
and the champion doesn't always get called up. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, if that was a thing, do you want to have a championship reign for 4 months? If that, probably not even that, and the rest of the time it's all tournaments.
See, well, if I'm in charge, are we saying I'm in charge here?
You are now officially in charge.
If I'm in charge, I don't have the champions come up all that often. I have the champions come up when they kind of have exercised through their thing. Let's say after Takeover, we get a call up here. I'm not calling up the winner of Black Andrade Cien Almas. I'm probably calling up the women's title because there's just no one really for Ember Moon or Baszler to feud with after they're done with each other. So I bring them both up, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But I would bring the women up. I would not have AOP win here, but I'm saying that if AOP won, they got the titles, I bring them up with the titles. But I would have the Arrow win here. AOP comes up. So I would have to run a women's title, which is not necessarily a bad thing because we've established that the women on NXT really need some freaking seasoning.
They just had a tournament though.
Well, see, I wouldn't have had the tournament then.
Yeah.
Tournament wasn't for the title though.
Doesn't matter.
And the
Vince
thing is,
will
you
decide.
don't need to do a tournament. You could have two obvious or just do a mini tournament, like 4 women.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like Nikki
Or
Cross,
you do a 6-way dance.
Or frankly, what I would do is I'd be like, "Hey, Kairi Sane, Nikki Cross, go!"
Yeah, that would be fuck yeah. So I think the worst pick, the Vince pick on this one is going to be Authors of Pain, because then you're just holding down the most qualified tag team to move on to main roster.
Sure.
Which moves us on to the Moon versus the Blazy Blaze for the women's title.
I am honestly not sure who I'm taking in this one.
It doesn't make any sense to not put the title on Baszler. It makes no sense to hold the title off her.
But it doesn't really make any sense for Moon's title reign to end basically with no title defense.
Dude, it couldn't start in the first place. Fuck, it took him like 2 years to try and get the title on.
I know, but
she kept getting fucking hurt.
But like,
she's healthy now. Dude, if she comes out of this match healthy, she could move on to main roster and give you at least 2 solid weeks before she gets hurt again. Come on, son. Come on!
True. Come on! But she's had 0 title defenses.
I don't care. Neither is Sasha Banks.
Well, yes, and that's half the problem with Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
No, I guess Moon has 1 title defense against Baszler. That's it.
Yeah. I would
138 days, 1 title defense. God damn it.
Yeah, I'm picking Baszler on this one. It makes 0 sense to not have the female Goldberg. That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense not to do.
They've already ruined it because they jobbed her out.
Did they though?
Like she lost. Which, I mean, if we're gonna go with the Goldberg analogy, she's got to win everything to be the Goldberg.
But she's young and inexperienced and shit like that. Who cares?
So was Goldberg.
Who gives a fuck?
Well,
Goldberg had to start
Goldberg
somewhere.
wasn't that young, I guess.
Goldberg was 90,000 years old, made out of railroad ties.
I guess I'll go with Baszler as well, which means Ember Moon will win, according to Vince.
Correct. And hold that Shayna Baszler down tight.
Mm-hmm.
There is another rumor that once, when we'll get to this on the WrestleMania predictions, that once Ronda Rousey gets a win, that they'll bring Shayna Baszler up immediately to feud with her.
I can dig that.
Doesn't make any sense, because then you're killing off 2 gimmicks at once, but whatever.
Yeah, it's also MMA fans won't buy it, because fucking hell. At no point was Shayna Baszler considered a competitive match for Ronda Rousey.
Mm-hmm. Oddly enough, in the pro wrestling circuit, I'm way more into Shayna Baszler, because she's more credible. Weirdly enough. Doesn't make any sense, but there it is.
Well, because she's actually doing it, whereas, I mean, in fairness to the problem with Rousey is she's being handled entirely with kid gloves.
Yeah.
She's been given the bypass to the main roster, which is not necessarily a bad thing. She's a big enough star that should be done. But she seems to be getting away with almost the same shit she got away with in UFC. I'm a big star, so we are going to tailor things to my desires.
Yeah, she's gone Hollywood.
Yeah, and you see it with like her interviews and stuff with like, you know, legit sports applications where I don't want to talk about my MMA losses. Why'd you come on here then?
Pretty much. You know what'd be good?
Or the best one is, did you hear about her EA UFC interview?
No.
So she's having an interview at the EA UFC like kind of launch type deal. They're doing like motion capture for it and everything, and she's having an interview, and it's like and the UFC like media people are like, okay, you can't ask her about anything to do with fighting because she won't answer you.
Tell her to fuck right off.
Pretty much. She's had her own media person, basically, Ramona Shelburne, do all the coverage on her for like a long ass time, and it's the UFC is in for a shock when they realize that what they have on their hands is a spoiled brat. Despite the fact
WWE.
Despite the fact that they actually she's had a hard life and everything, so she's not spoiled in that sense, but she behaves like a spoiled brat.
True.
And Yeah, at some point they're going to have to realize that really she's going to have to go heel. Because she's not... She is a terrible babyface.
That's probably true. Probably true. Which leads us into our main event of Takeover, and therefore the main event of the entire weekend. Already
Andre.
seeing Llamas versus Aleister Black for the next XT championship of the world.
Going with Black.
I
don't even feel like I need to explain that.
No, I mean, here's the deal. Is Almas the guy to break Black's streak? No. Black. Therefore,
I'm hoping this is better than the match they had when Black came into NXT.
I hope it's the same match. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Therefore, your champion going out Vince style will be already seeing Llamas after heavy fuck finish interference from Zelina. I only know 7 words during a beatdown. Vega.
Yep.
For no reason whatsoever. There will be no explanation. There will be no call-up for Aleister Black. There will be nothing. It would just be your first loss for no reason.
On to Mania. We got the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
We've already done picks for this.
Yep. I'm going with Matt Hardy.
Indeed.
I think like you could have a number of different winners here, but I think Matt Hardy is your hottest act that is in this match. And therefore, I would give him the trophy.
Indeed. And I can't remember who I picked, so you're going to have to just...
You picked Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense not to. You're paying him shit fucking loads of money. Shit loads.
And the Vince pick, we went with Baron Corbin to win his second.
Yeah, because it didn't make any sense, it didn't work, and he's just going to piss it all away again anyway, so fuck it.
Then we have the ladies version. I went with Becky Lynch.
Everybody's picking Becky Lynch.
Yeah, but that's because she's awesome.
I'm not disagreeing.
You went with Bayley, which is a solid pick.
They need to kickstart her again. They need to. They need to pull a trigger. They need to move her forward.
My thoughts on this, I shared it with you, but just to share with the audience, I would have Bayley get like complete mean girl eliminated by Sasha Banks. Like she eliminates Banks, and then Banks drags her out. And furthers that.
I could see that. I could completely see that, and then Becky wins the whole thing. I can totally see that.
And we have the Vince pick as Sasha Banks.
Correct, because it makes no sense to have the heel go over and go, "I'm still better than you," and then Bayley's still left with nothing. You've been betrayed again for no reason. You're so dumb.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. Bayley's gonna get get a turner bag on Banks in the final 2 and get eliminated.
Yeah.
Then we have the Cruiserweight match. We're both going with Cedric Alexander, which by default makes Vince's pick Mustafa Ali.
Correct.
And we have Roman Reigns, and that makes Vince's pick Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, we're going to keep the belt on Lesnar even though he's leaving the company, and he'll take that shit to Japan and piss on it in the street.
You got Dana White talking about how Brock Lesnar's coming back to the OC, which, by the way, means that it is actually not going to happen, because if you follow Dana White, you realize nothing he says is ever true. Absolutely nothing. Conor McGregor has an arrest warrant out for him. No, he doesn't.
He got arrested.
He surrendered to police. Yeah, there was actually no warrant ever issued.
If you surrender, if there was no warrant, if he surrendered to police, the police would just be like, "Why are you here?"
They wanted him for questioning. He surrendered for questioning, and during the questioning, they arrested him.
They didn't say, and I see none of the things I said anything about. Nothing I read said anything about questioning.
A lot of things said that the police themselves made the statement they wanted for questioning.
Perhaps nobody was giving me the correct information then.
It could be. But
Bleacher Report, suck my dick.
He surrendered himself for questioning, and they arrested him at that time, probably because. So, what is your side of the story? Oh, that's retarded. You're under arrest.
Charged.
But no warrant was ever issued.
Well, I don't know. I'm assuming that Dana White just doesn't get information that's right. That's my... it's,
the problem is
probably 50-50.
The problem is half the stuff he reports falsely on, though, is stuff that he has ultimate power over, and therefore has
Yeah,
to
but
have
see,
the
I still think that Dana White's probably such a shithead to work for. I hear that he's actually like a really good guy to hang out with and be friends with. He's apparently, if it's not a working relationship, he's a great dude.
Oh yeah, he'll shower you in money and shit. Like
Dana White, be my friend.
the fighters that are his buddies are like. There's a reason Dean Thomas is always backing up his shit because he's Dana's buddy and gets a lot of money out of it.
Fuck, sounds good to me. But if it's a working relationship, I have a feeling that everybody who works under him just tells him what he wants to hear to keep him off their fucking ass. Just keep him off my back. So I think 50% of the time he gets wrong information, and 50% of the time he's just lying. So I think, and it's hard to tell which is which. Because I saw 4 or 5 different things say warrant. And I saw no thing say questioning. So
there were definitely
I'm obviously getting wrong sources.
There were some definite people reporting like warrant and stuff, and the problem is a lot of the people who were reporting warrant were like quoting Dana White, whereas the people who were like he's wanted for questioning were quoting the police.
Yeah, and see, I never saw a single police report, so that's a problem with people I'm listening to then.
Yeah.
So yeah, the absolute worst call here is to keep the title on Lesnar, because then you have to wait another full fucking year for them to do this again. And I'll probably kill myself.
Well, I've said this, as bad as they botched the Roman Reigns push, I think at this point you have no choice but to fucking pull the trigger.
Yeah, if there's one thing Vince is really awesome at, it's quadrupling down on his total and complete fuck-ups. I.e. naming the Battle Royal after a fucking pimp.
Well, they're not doing that now, but
they did.
It took a long time, yeah.
It took this fucking sponsor for the whole weekend to go, I'm not paying you money. Okay.
Then we have Nakamura Styles. We are both going with Shinsuke Nakamura because that's a hell of a way to finish up Mania, basically.
Yeah.
Which means Vince will put Styles over, which is not actually that bad of a conclusion. I'm actually not as against that as you would think.
No, but I mean, then you've got you just left with this stink of evil foreigner in the air because Vince doesn't trust anybody who's not fucking white.
Yo.
And if you're not from New York,
Mexican.
Well, he doesn't really have much of a choice when it came to with a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not white and you're not from the northeast of the U.S., Vince doesn't trust you, and you are a heel because you're a dirty fucking foreigner.
Yep. Then we both had Finn Balor taking home the IC title. We went with the worst option is The Miz because he should, get some time off with his kid.
Yeah, and I mean, they've made a massive deal about this whole, I'm a few days away from breaking the record of most days ever, because they keep throwing the fucking belt on him for some goddamn reason. And Seth Rollins is just whatever. It's just floating along in the warm, tepid sewage and just kind of coasting with the belt. But if you want to actually have a star...
It's a payoff for Balor losing the Universal title and never getting a rematch!
Which they keep mentioning. So yeah, the worst option is The Miz, and then he just gets to keep doing promos about how great he is, even though he isn't. Yeah.
We both have Rusev taking home the U.S. title. We have the Vince pick is Jinder Mahal. This is
correct.
Pretty self-explanatory. Rusev is over his shit, and Jinder Mahal is the least over man in the match. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if Orton retains. I'm not going to be surprised if Rude gets the belt. But the worst option is Mahal. The best option is Rusev. And really, what's Bobby Roode even doing?
He's being faced. He's being faced Bobby Roode, which is really heelish for.
It's just like, again, just kind of like lukewarm room temperature. Meh.
I said this as soon as he came up. I'm like, they're going to bring Bobby Roode up as a face, and it's going to suck.
Mm-hmm.
And it pretty much has.
Yep.
We both have Nia Jax, which means Alexa Bliss is going to win.
Yeah, let's have the bully who is physically incompetent somehow beat the Destroyer. Makes no sense. Fuck.
We both have Asuka winning because fuck, it needs to be.
Yeah.
And of course, the Vince pick is Carmella cashes in and wins the title.
Yeah, not only wins the title, but probably also wins the female Battle Royal as well.
Oh yeah, I guess that really actually would have been the worst option for that, huh?
Might have been.
Then kind of in a weird one, we both picked the bar, and we think the worst option is also the bar.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, they're going to do something stupid with Strowman, and then they're going to have him fail at Mania, the way he always fails at the end of every feud. Has he ever won a feud?
Or his partner will get pinned and he'll feud with the partner.
Yeah, that's the most likely scenario. Has Strowman ever won a feud?
I mean...
Because didn't Elias just run away?
Well, no. He got to beat up Elias and beat him in that instrument match. So I would say that he won that feud.
Yeah, you beat a jobber. Anything else? Has he ever won a single? He didn't win the one against Roman.
Lost to Roman, lost to Brock Lesnar. Well, he didn't lose to Brock Lesnar, but he didn't win against Brock Lesnar.
Not only did he lose to Lesnar, he also lost to Kane.
No, he beat Kane.
Lost to Kane.
He beat Kane.
Lost to Kane.
He destroyed him in that last man standing match for the spot in the Elimination Chamber. I got to give him that one.
Congratulations, you beat a retiree. And a jobber.
Yeah.
Awesome destroyer you got there, guys. Total thumbs up.
Yeah. And then we have the Bludgeon Brothers going over because at this point nothing else makes sense in that three-way.
It doesn't. Not at all. You spent so much money and time. So much.
Like, you have to put the belts on the Bludgeon Brothers, even though I think that the entire build-up has not been handled properly because I still don't buy them as badasses.
No, they made jobber squashing boring.
Yeah, it's jobber, beat Breezango, beat the Ascension, jobber. You guys are randomly afraid of us for no real reason. And then, I mean, they did beat the ad hoc team of, was it Jay or Jimmy Uso and Big E?
Whatever. And Uso and the guy with tits.
And we went with the Vince pick of just keeping the belts on the Usos, which, I mean, really, this is kind of a parallel. New Day winning or the Usos winning, kind of the same level of crap.
Pretty much. It's more of the same from gimmicks I don't buy. Or some of the new with a gimmick I don't buy.
Yeah. We have the Olympians going over Triple H and Stephanie, and the Vince pick is Triple H and Stephanie.
Yeah, and with Stephanie winning via slap,
specifically. Yeah.
Stephanie works the whole match and just slaps everybody until they're dead.
No, she'll pedigree Ronda somehow.
That might be good. Oh, inverted pedigree. Get a little of that lesbian pollen.
Yeah, that lesbian pollen that Vince loves. Yeah, I mean, this is the obvious one. Like, Ronda in her debut does have to go over if you're going to make money off of her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still less inclined to believe that she has any long-term value, but her short-term value is good. You gotta put her over here.
Based on their track record of how they book people are going to get bored and resentful in a year and a half. Most. That happened to Lesnar. Lesnar could legit do all of the things to all of the people. The problem is that you only got to see him do 3 German suplexes every 8 months. People, I legit forgot he was a champion. I legit forgot for months and months and months at a time that he even worked there. That they ever had another belt. They're probably going to do the same with her.
She seems more inclined to do a somewhat full schedule. My only thing is that the assumption is that we're going to love Ronda the same way we did in MMA. And the problem was in MMA, she was destroying people and making it look cool.
Yeah.
I'm not actually sold that she can do that in pro wrestling.
Not yet. Not without like 5 more years of training. I don't think she's on Kurt Angle's level. as far as the adaptability is concerned.
I don't think
Case in point, she couldn't.
I don't think she's on Kurt Angle's level in terms of just mental toughness.
That's also true.
She loses, and she seems to lose interest in it.
Yeah, and Kurt Angle
this is a rigged sport where she's going to win, and that's not a problem. But at some point, like, outside of from her mom, and even then, I don't think she even really liked it from her mom, she doesn't like criticism.
No.
There's a reason she stuck with Edmund Tarvedian for as long as she did.
I was going to say, that's why she failed and kept failing, because she can't change. She cannot. What happens in, say, around just after Survivor Series this year, say things aren't going the way they think they should be, and they de-push her. I think it's over. Instantaneously over for her. She'll mentally check out. She'll quit on the business. That'll be it. If you de-push her for an instant, that's over.
And there's also the fact that from her Hollywood career, apparently she's pretty difficult to work with.
Yep.
So
and
that's also not good.
Apparently got backstage heat right now with the girls, not for any other reason other than she keeps herself to herself. And maybe she just doesn't know how to make friends. Maybe that's the case. Maybe. Or maybe she's a bitch. Time will tell. She seems like one of these people that seems like if she's your friend, she'd probably be a great friend. But if she's not not on that level with friendship, I don't know how pleasant she's like to be around. Apparently, again, if you're saying things from Hollywood are saying that she's difficult, that's a code word for total fucking bitch.
Yeah. I mean, there's two reasons her Hollywood career went downhill. She alienated people, and she's a terrible actor.
Oh, not only that. No. Main factor is she lost, and she kept losing.
Well, that too. Yeah, definitely destroys the cachet.
Yeah, I mean, she
unless you can see. Here's the thing: you can lose in MMA and come back. Randy Couture is a great example.
Oh yeah.
But the problem is she never really came back. Her way was, I got knocked out by Holly Holm, and then I refused to talk to the media leading up to Amanda Nunes. Got knocked out by Nunes and decided I'm pretty much done. I won't confirm that I'm done, and in fact, if you bring it up to me, I become very hostile.
Yep. So she's a fucking front runner. As far as I can tell, she's a front runner who's a bitch. That's the only thing I can. If I had any other sources or any other way to figure this out, I would go a different way with my assessment. But that's your track record. You didn't get to the top in judo. You got to the top in MMA for a time, and then a stumbling block, and then you fell off a fucking cliff. And apparently you're angry at the media. Apparently you're angry at people who work for you or with you in as far as movies are concerned. Your image is gone as a world-destroying, awesomely positive, I ain't no do-nothing bitch. Like, where did that go? Apparently you are a do-nothing bitch. Apparently you just kind of fucking quit and do nothing. That's the public persona that you have. I can't change that, and I have no other way to interpret that.
We will see if she proves us wrong, but there is a reason I've not been nearly as hyped as, like, for example, Steven Larson have been about the whole signing.
Yeah, no,
specifically Steve Larson's actually been kind of Coldwater Larson on it.
Not gonna happen. Coldwater Larson, best Larson.
And
I don't get it.
And we are split on the Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon versus Sammy and KO. You're going Sammy and KO. I think Daniel Bryan wins in his return.
Yeah. I mean, I can't argue with that logic in any way, shape, or form.
And there really isn't a worse pick, so we flipped a coin, and Vince has got Shane and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, because if they win, then Owens and Zayn are still fired from the company. I guess they could just walk into Raw.
Yeah.
Because they're fired from SmackDown.
They're only fired from SmackDown.
I guess. But here's the prop bet. Are you ready?
Okay.
Do they finally pull the trigger on a Brian Owens Zayn heel faction and beat the absolute shit out of Shane McMahon so he can go take care of his diverticulitis.
I would. Well, okay, if he actually has diverticulitis, I just wouldn't have him in the match. Like,
well, yeah,
straight up there. If legitimately speaking, if he has staph or diverticulitis, I don't have him in the match. That's
no.
it.
But I mean, he also wears. Well, he usually wears. Where's the staph at? Does anybody know?
I don't think they said.
Because if it's an area you can cover up, and he usually wears looser clothing. I mean, from a physical standpoint on his part, dude, that's not good. I mean, you're not going to be able to perform. It's going to suck. End of story. And from a contagion standpoint, if it's somewhere that you can, lay that shit upon somebody else and then they get staph, you fucked up 2 people. So that's not good.
Yeah.
So are you for or against the new heel faction? That's my thing. Do they get out of this?
I am against it right now because I want to enjoy Daniel Bryan as a face for a bit.
But it's Vince.
Well, if I'm Vince, I'm making a heel faction because I'm a fucking asshole. That's why we have. There we go. That's the Vince prediction. Daniel Bryan actually goes heel and beats all 3 of them up.
That would be entertaining. I'd be fine with that. And then he's just like the pissed off head of everything. Like, fuck you, I'm doing what I want.
But I would keep him face for a bit. I think there's more money in it for a bit.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong about any of that stuff. But I still think that, I don't know, Vince is fucking simple in the head. Well, we can't have our best guys just fucking fired, so, undo that.
Well, they just go to Raw. I mean, it's not really, it's legitimately not a problem.
Yeah, but they've been doing all these things, like, for a while back. Stephanie and Brian fucking talked, and they're like, hey, if my brother wasn't around, you'd be totally in charge. And, there's been all of these, quadruple second chances and stuff, and it's kind of...
No, there's plenty of, to be clear, there's plenty of foundation for a heel turn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would make complete logical sense, and I wouldn't be sitting here going, that makes no sense, because it makes total sense.
Yeah.
I just think that there's more money in face Daniel. That's just all I'm saying.
Yeah, you're totally right. But Vince pisses money down the drain, like his gonorrhea-infested testicles will explode if he doesn't.
Whoa, please. The man has clearly syphilis.
I want to fuck everything. Now I can't remember anything I'm doing. Oh, and I'm going blind.
I may or may not have fucked the fabulous Moolah.
I think I just shit my dentures.
Anyways, that's our call for Mania, both with Vince's picks and what we would do, and what we think is going to happen in some cases. Because we don't necessarily think the worst case scenario is always going to happen.
But most of the time it does. That's kind of the reason why we're doing it.
Yeah,
I want to know if the worst thing I can imagine happens more often than not.
Well, for example, Roman Reigns winning is the right course of action, and it's also probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, they've set it up for a whole fucking over a year. No, they set it up for 4 years now. They've tried to have this happen.
5 years, I would say, at this point.
Yeah, probably. Wow, what a waste of time. Fuck.
Yeah, you could have literally picked anyone else on the roster. Fuck. And, if John Cena versus The Undertaker happens, who we got? Because that's the bonus round.
Bonus round, I would have to say, Undertaker. Under-fucking-taker. There is...
I would give Undertaker back the last win. He goes on a note. Final retirement. Bam.
Because Cena's awesome. Cena will job to the Undertaker at Mania. There's not a problem with that. Undertaker may not accept that. He is old school enough that you can't go out on a win. But dude, you can't have the Undertaker go out on 2 straight losses at Mania. You can't.
It would be 3, wouldn't it?
Not 3 straight.
Oh, you're right. He won one after Brock.
Yeah. So I would definitely take Undertaker. The worst option is you take Cena, who has been perceived as being pushed down people's throats for his entire career, and then just beats The Undertaker. So he's in the same boat as fucking Roman Reigns. The prevailing theory now, and this may be a giant swerve, but the prevailing theory right now is that it won't be a match, it'll be a confrontation for a match next year at WrestleMania, which I'm also fine with.
I mean, that's what I've always thought would be the answer, because Undertaker had that hip replacement not that long ago.
He had it pretty close after Mania last year.
That's still a long recovery time for something like that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. 100%. So, yeah, no, I'm not mad if it's next year. It's been a great build to whatever happens this year. Cena's awesome. So Cena can just do whatever he wants. And then Cena can just have the next year to do what he did this year. Just kind of, he does some matches, has a small run, goes and does a movie, yada, yada, yada. I think that, and I don't know when Cena's contract's supposed to be up, but whenever his contract's up, that dude's going to Hollywood and not looking back. Not for a bit, anyway.
Assuming it works out.
Yeah, well, everything I've seen, the problem is that the movies he's been in are not movies I want to watch.
Yes.
But I have seen his scenes from those movies, and they're awesome. They're hilarious. When he's the tattooed up drug dealer from whatever the fuck chick flick that was, hilarious. When he's in the movie theater shouting like gay rape, hostility things.
Amy Schumer, yeah.
Yeah, he's all up on the gay rape train. Like
I am all taint.
I will fuck you, or I don't even remember what he said, but it was like that's hilarious. Nothing else comes to mind right now, but he might actually be able to turn a Transformers movie good. What the fuck is that about?
No. That's a directorial problem.
Yeah. Is Fucknut also directing the Bumblebee movie?
I think so.
What an idiot. Dude can't make Bad Boys 3?
Let's see. Bumblebee movie.
Bumblebee Tuna? Bumblebee Tuna.
Travis Knight is your director.
Why is that familiar? Did he do a Fast and Furious?
Travis Knight. Filmography. Nothing I know.
Won
a couple of awards.
KNIGH or just Knight?
KNIG and HD. Standard Knight like Sword and Shield Knight.
Travis Knight.
Filmography.
Coraline, which I have heard of but not worked or not watched. He was an animator. Paranorman, which wasn't that the fucking retard spooky goth guy movie?
Yes, sir.
The Box Trolls, which I have heard of. I saw a preview. It looked.
This appears to be his second directorial movie.
Yeah, Kubo and the Two Strings again seemed to make a big splash, but I didn't hear anything other than people were fanboying and girdling out about it. I don't know what an omniverse is.
This is his first live action movie.
Oh my goodness.
So
he's been an animator on a shit ton of things. So I mean, you know what? Maybe if he's an animator by trade, maybe this turns into an actually well executed mechanical Transformers type thing.
Maybe. It's possible.
I don't think it will, but one can hope. At least it won't. Please don't make every action scene in slow-mo like fucknut explosions.
Explosions everywhere. Fuck yeah.
I'm fine with it. Just not everything in slow-mo, you fucking retards.
The nachos are exploding.
Oh my god. Also, can we get a Devastator movie? Come on.
I would down with it.
I am Devastator!
I also enjoyed Berserker in the Last Night movie.
I don't know. I fell asleep during that one.
There's a scene where Megatron's getting his crew out of prison by negotiating with the government. And they get to Berserker, and he's He's basically chained up Hannibal Lecter style, and he's like, I will suck your brains.
Nice.
And the lawyer's like, no, we're not letting him out.
I legit fell asleep during that movie in the theater.
I did not have the choice. I had a small child, well, not 7-year-old child, watching it with me.
So you're saying it can be smothered easily?
I'm not smothering my, relatives.
Well, not right now, no. Oh, the chick that's in that movie was in Ender's Game, Petrarch Canyon.
Haley Steinfeld.
Nice. I didn't totally hate the Ender's Game movie. I didn't
really like it either, though.
I can see. You know what to fix that movie is you need a 2-minute montage. 1 2-minute montage to show that Ender, while in battle school, wasn't just there for 2.5 days and kicked everybody's ass. You need to show some progression, because when he gets to battle school, it takes, I want to say 3 years? I might need to reread that.
I don't think it was 3 years. That sounds a little long.
At least 2. Minimum 2, probably 3 years he was at battle school. Because he had to go through battle school, went through a lot of shit, went back to Earth very briefly to see his sister, which was all part of their ploy, and then he went to command school. And command school was the one that took almost no time. Command school probably took about 6 months, if that, probably 4 months. So that's where they fucked up. All they need is a 2-minute montage to show that he was there doing things and learning for a bit.
Yeah. Anyways, we've gone way too long on this.
Get out.
We'll call it there. Get off Byron's lawn. Enjoy WrestleMania, and we're out.
For reals.